Hello everybody, welcome to this week's 30-Minute Mentor. I would really appreciate it if you guys could let me know that you can hear my voice and see my screen, because I still don't have my other computer back. I'm still working just on my laptop, so I've no way of monitoring this. I don't know whether what I see on my screen here is what you are actually receiving. So if you can let me know in the chat section, just put a yes in or something. Hi everybody. All fine, that's great news. And hello and welcome everybody. Now, as you know, this year we're going to be dealing principally with the two things that you need to do to make money online, and that is one, build a list, and two, communicate with your list. And I'm sure you've all heard the phrase that the money is in the list, and that is what's in the top left of my presentation there. I don't know why that's small. I don't know how we can perhaps get that bigger. If we can, I don't know how you do it. So we'll have to live with it like it is. I'm not a technical person at all. I have a very little technical ability and computer knowledge and background, and this should give you all hope, because if I can make money with no knowledge, and I assure you that most of you will have as much knowledge as me, some of you may be even more challenged than me, but they'll be few and far between, because even though I've been online for a long time, I've never really bothered with anything technical. I principally know how to make money, and I use the tools, but I don't have any idea of how they work. I mean, I can switch the electric light on, and I've got a rough idea that the electricity flows through the wires and it makes the bulb glow, and so the light comes on. But I don't really care about it. I don't want to know about it. All I want to know is that when I click that switch, the light goes on. And it's pretty much the same with my computer. When I press that little button that says power on, I want it to come on and everything to work. And fortunately, most of the time it does, but occasionally it doesn't. And my time online, I've had 3 computer crashes. The first 2 were pretty serious, cost me a lot of money. The third one, by this time I'd learned that you need backups. And so I provide a backup service at sawwp.com. I believe it's the best that there is available, and it's at the lowest price. And if you've not got a backup, you need one, especially if you're in business online, because when you start losing your information, then you're losing your business, basically. It's all there, probably all stored in your computer. And so you need that backup. Unfortunately, I've got a backup, and I can probably show it to you. I'll show it to you later on. So he said, I don't know whether we've no, hopefully we've not lost you. I'll keep my eye on the chat. If you do lose me, or you get a black screen or something like that, let me know, and then I can hopefully do something about it. But to me, it looks like it's working at the moment. So where are my slides? Serious slides. We go to the next one. Okay. The money is in the list. Is that true, or is it not true? In many ways, it's probably the biggest lie in online marketing. Oh, build a list and you'll be all right. You'll make $1 per person per month for everybody in your list. I've probably got over 100,000 people in my list, and I certainly don't make over $100,000 a month from my list. So that's out the window. My list really needs whittling down in a big way. I need to be getting rid of people. The more people that opt out, the happier I am. But I seem to have I've got well over 100,000 people. It might even be 200,000 people. Because I've been online since 1998, 16 years, and I probably, on average, get 10 opt-ins a day. Okay, it's not massive, but if you look at all my autoresponders, I probably get 2, 3, 5 into each one. It might be a few more than 10, it might be a few less. Some days it might be 8, and some days it might be 20. And so they add up over a period of time. And unfortunately, a lot of them stay there. Also, there is the fact that people often opt in to different offers that I have running. So they might be opted into me, but they might be in 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 different lists. So the same person might be opted in 10 times. And sometimes they get onto me and say, why do I get 10 emails? I said, well, because you've opted into 10 things. So if you're on my list and you're getting 10 emails, opt out of some of them. You don't need to be opted in 10 times. It's very gratifying if you say, well, I want to be opted in because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And if I don't get an email from one, but fair dues. If you're getting a lot of emails from me that all say the same, opt out of some of the lists. There aren't that many that we send out specific information on for members, because most of my stuff is done through broadcasts and not through automatic responses. So it's not going to pay you $1 per person per month necessarily. It may do. It may pay you more than that. I got up this morning at about 1:45 to listen to a webinar from a lady, Diane Hutchman, who makes more than me from her list, and yet her list is 5% or maybe less than 5% of the size of my list. So did I think she was worth listening to? Yeah. And did I tell other people to go and listen to her? Yeah. And I hope that some of you did, because she had a lot of gold nuggets in what she was saying there. And really, the money isn't in the list. And if I get my next slide, we haven't got many slides again this week, but we do have another one here. And this is really what, it's annoying that that's so small. It's big on the other computer. I don't know why. However, the money can be in the list. In fact, if you've got a list, you probably are making some sort of money. But the fortune's in the follow-up. It's really all about the quality of your list. As I say, I've got between 100 and 200,000 people on my lists. And unfortunately, a lot of them are, from the point of view of being subscribers to my list, from my point of view, are very low quality. I'm not saying that the people are low quality. The people might be excellent people, but they are probably not opening my emails. And if they do open the emails, they're not clicking through. And if they don't open them and they don't click through, they might as well not be on the list. So I need to get to get some real big list cleaning done, and I've been meaning to do it for a long time. I spent a lot of money about 12 months ago on the CRM program, and I couldn't get it to work. It was just too complicated for me. But I've got another one now, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to put in, install, and that will then I'll be able to then much better track who is opening emails and who isn't, and I can clean them out and just get rid of them. And if it gets down to 10 people, I don't care, because 10 people, quality people, are more valuable than 200,000 that never read your email. So the fortune's in the follow-up, but the fortune really is in building a quality list and building rapport with that list, and that's the communication part of the list. And I say I've been marketing online for 16 years, and I can go out and I can pick out a product, and I can go out and find a way to sell that product and make a commission. In fact, I'd never used ClickBank till about 3 or 4 years ago, when I decided that I was going to move online fully and teach people what to do. And I knew that a lot of people use ClickBank. So I thought, well, I'd better see how it all works. So I went on to ClickBank and I picked a product out, and I just did a little campaign to market that product. And I didn't make a fortune with it, don't get me wrong, but in about 7 days, I think I made 670. I did have a copy of the check somewhere, but I don't know where it is, because at that time I didn't have them regularly depositing money into my bank account like they do now. They every 2 weeks they just deposit my income into my bank account. So, but when you're just beginning, you don't have all that set up, and so I got a check, and it was a check, as I say, for just this campaign, which I ran for 7 days. It was about $600 and odd. So I can pick a product up, and because I'm used to sales, and because I've been involved in sales for 40 years, I can pretty much sell anything. Maybe not in the quantities I would like, maybe not to the number of people I would like, or whatever, but I can get by with virtually any product that you want to give me. I can go out and I can sell enough to make it worth my while, let's put it that way. So I never really concentrated on the value of the list. I knew I was building a list and it was there. One of the computer crashes I had, by the way, cost me so much because I had a list on there of I can't remember the number of the quantity now, but it was somewhere between 20 and 30,000 buyers. These were people that had actually bought from me, and I lost that list. And that was not there were some email addresses there, but a lot of them were mailing addresses, because I was also doing a lot of sales by direct mail at that time. I had a direct mail business, and that my customer list was there, and boom, it just disappeared in a flash when the computer crashed. Disappeared in a flash with the crash. I'm a poet. How about that? And it wasn't amusing, because a buyer's list of 30,000 is really worthwhile, even if you're bad at communicating with them, as I have been in the past. And I learned a lot from Diane yesterday on that webinar. And as I say, I got up at 1:45 in the morning to listen to her. And she went on for, I don't know, 2.5 hours. So it wasn't worth me going back to bed, because I usually get up at 4 o'clock anyway, or before 4 o'clock. And so I've been up since 2 o'clock today. And it's time well spent. And I quite often get up at what people would class as on social hours to learn something from somebody, because they have something of value to offer me. and nearly always they're selling a product, and sometimes I'll buy the product and sometimes I won't. I mean, I've not actually purchased Diane's product yet, but I will go back there and get it because I think it's really well worthwhile. It's called Twist Your List, I think she's called it. Pretty catchy, Twist Your List, and it's, can't remember the price now, about $300 I think. And it's like a 6-week course, and it has an awful lot with it, well worthwhile. And I can probably find you a link to the course somewhere. If you're interested, you'll have to email me and I'll look up for it, because I'll have to find it for myself anyway, because I just was multitasking at the time, and I didn't buy it at the time. So but you have to buy it. I think it's only available till Friday or Saturday, or maybe the bonuses are only available till Friday or Saturday. And some of the bonuses are well worth having. There's like a file of 800 of her emails that she sent out. Let me tell you, this lady has a list of 4,500 people, and some of those are duplicates in the same way that a lot of people on my list are duplicate entries. And she reckons that her real true list is probably about 3,500 to 4,000 perhaps. She has other lists that she's got from, you know, having a play with solo ads and this sort of thing, but they are not what she classes as her list. Those are just opt-ins over there, and until they get converted and get onto a proper list, she doesn't even count them. And she hasn't got that many anyway, because she doesn't do a lot of that, because in her own words, she's too busy making money doing what she's doing than to bother with that. So this lady with a list of, let's say the 4,500 makes and beats a lot of top affiliates, some of the big names that you know of, the Phil Sames, the I can't think of his name. I know the guy as well. I have to buy him a drink when I see him. But the big names, the people that you would recognize, the sort of top affiliates are always near the top. She beats those people out. These people have lists bigger than mine, some of them. And she tops them and sometimes beats them by like twice the amount of sales that they get from her list. Why? Because her lists are like her family. They are. She's nurtured them. She cares for them. She looks after them in every possible way. And she likens it to a corner store. Where the proprietor knows his customers. He's not, we're not talking about Walmarts and police people like that. We're talking about the little utility corner store, and he knows his regular customers, and he knows their names, and he knows their family, and he says hello to them when they come in. And sometimes you might say, you know, is there anything special you're looking for? And they might say, yeah, I'm looking for this or that. And you say, oh yeah, it's over there. But there's no sort of big sales. It's all just friendly stuff. You might say, oh, I know you like tomatoes. I got some really good ones. Just the other day. So they're over there. Or you might say, you might see them go into the potatoes, and you might say, oh, be careful with those potatoes. I bought them and they're not the quality that I'm used to. So just make sure when you go through them that none of them have got mold on them or something like that. You know, he looks after the people, and she likens her list to the same sort of thing. She likes people to communicate with her. And there were one or two phrases that that she uses. And the way she builds a list, there are two principal ways, although she has a course on Sunday in which she's going to teach people how to get like 10 plus leads a day, starting from scratch. And one of the things that she does is anything that she produces, anything that whether it's a video or a blog or an article or whatever it is, whatever it may be that she's produced, I wrote it down somewhere. Let me just look through my notes if I can. Oh dear. I can't just see it in my notes at the moment. Oh yeah, here it is. At the end, she always says, you know, I've got a great newsletter that I send out that I think would really help you to improve your whatever kind of business it is. Would you like me to put you on it? And if so, and if it's an online thing, she says there's a form below where you can just put in your name and email, and I'll send you my newsletter out. You know, would you like me to put you on it, type of thing. And she also was talking about an app on a smartphone. I don't even have a smartphone. I mean, that's how technologically backward I am. An app on a smartphone called Atom, which works with Aweber, where if she meets somebody and they're talking and they're saying, you know, and how does this work or how does that work? Well, I have a really great newsletter that I think would really help you out. Would you like me to put you on it? And this app on the smartphone called Atom, I think she said it was called. If the person says yes, says okay. And she just says, your name is Peter, right? And you just put in the Peter. And what's your email address? Just type it in there for me. And press boom. And that person is then on the list using that app. So that is the way she builds her list. And she has all the techniques as well. But those were a couple of the little bits of gold that she was handing out. And then she was talking about the first email that people get. And the first one, she said, and pretty often, this is the only one that she automates. And it goes along the lines of, I'm glad you joined my newsletter. I'm going to be sending it to you on a regular basis and with some great tips and tricks about, and then whatever it is that they're interested in, because you might have a list for health products, and she might have a list for online business, and she might have a list for whatever, you know. So tips and tricks about making money online, for example. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, just hit reply or give me a call. My phone number is on the list. And so she operates in that way. And that is pretty much all the first one says. And then she sends out these newsletters and she writes them and sends them out. And she's got templates and all sorts that's included in this Twist Your List course. And as I say, this lady can make like $20,000 from sending out one email to a list of 4,500. So you don't need a massive list. She reckons if you build a list her way, and treat it in the way that she teaches, you can, with a list of 1,000 people, which the way she teaches, you can build a list of 1,000 people in about 3 months. With a list of about 1,000 people, you can make enough for most people to retire, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And it's there. It's the quality of the people. It's the quality of the service you offer them. It's in that follow up to those people and what you're providing in value. And she said that quite often some of the things she promotes are like events. She might be going to some internet marketing event or something like that that's being held in, I don't know, let's say, for example, it's been held in Las Vegas. And she might send a message out to her list saying, oh, there's an internet marketing event on in Las Vegas. I'm going. Are you going to be there? This is the link for it. And because everybody respects her so much and just looking to meet her for one of a better thing, in addition to the event, they say, oh, yeah, great. I'll see you there. And then they go to the event with the primary reason of meeting her and getting together with her. And secondary, learning from the event and being able to talk to her about the content of the event. So she'll get a lot of people off her list just going to the event just because she's put it over in that way. She's not giving all these bullet points about what you'll learn and how much it would cost normally, and you're going to get it at this little price down here and all that stuff. No, none of that. Just, this is on. I'm going. Will I see you there? This sort of thing. Also, if she buys a product, and I do this, but I only do it with products that I buy that I find really useful. And I buy a lot of products that I think are crap, and so I don't ever promote those. But if I find a product that I think is good, then I'll usually send that out to my list in the same way, but she just says, I bought this, I think it's good, check it out, see if you like it, no big deal. And because it's her, because of the rapport that she has built with her list, she will get massive amounts of affiliate sales from that sort of approach. And she'll get 70 to 80%, not just open rate, but click-through rates on her emails. 70 to 80% click-through. I'd be over the moon if I got 70% open. In fact, when I get 20% open, I'm over the moon, because usually my open rate is much lower than that. So well worth learning of people that are doing better than you are in some aspect. I am very good at getting a good earnings per click ratio. You'll find that if there are 20 people on the leaderboard of something that I'm promoting, and I'm maybe up there near the top, or maybe up there, down near the bottom, but you will find that probably my earnings per click are usually double what most people's are. So if people are getting like they might be making more money than me, they might have made, for example, 25,000 on this particular launch competition, and I might have made 5,000 on this launch competition, but their earnings per click might be just $1. They might be making $1. They've had 25,000 clicks go to this offer, so their earning per click is only $1, whereas I might have only made, let's say I might have only made $5,000, but I might have only had 1,500 clicks. So I'm making $3 and up per click, and I'm good at doing that. But I am not good at getting massive open rates and certainly massive click-through rates. So there's always something that you can learn from other people, and you've got to look for those people that are doing something that you're doing, but doing it much, much better than you. And this is all about the two things that make money online: building a list and communicating with the list. And the better you learn to do that, the more money you'll make. And really, it's that simple. And that is pretty much all I've got to offer. Has anybody got any questions on marketing, any aspect of marketing? It doesn't have to be anything that you think is about this. It can be about anything at all that that you are. Let me stop this screen share because I haven't got any more slides anyway. Because I was going to prepare slides on a different topic, but I got quite motivated by this webinar I was on. I thought it was an excellent webinar. I don't know whether there's a replay. I don't know. There probably will be a replay, I would think. If you've not registered for it, I wonder if I can find you the link. Let me just look. I don't know whether I did have a link for it, but I think I've deleted it. If you get my emails, there will probably have been a link in some of the emails. I think there was a link in the email I sent yesterday. Let me see if I can find a copy of an email yesterday. It'll be in the just 1 second, and I'll just see if I can. Trouble is I get thousands of emails, and so. No, I can't. I can't just see one at the moment. But no, I'm sorry. If you're interested, once again, you can email me and I will dig it out for you. I will find it. Any quality paid traffic sources you would recommend? It's difficult. What you have to use a traffic source, and you have to test it against certain types of information, because traffic comes from different regions, different area. I'm not talking geographically, I'm talking about the way that the traffic is generated. And one of the best traffic sources I know is probably going to frighten you off a bit, because it's about £2 odd per click. $2 odd, not £2. But I've only used it a limited amount myself so far, because I don't buy a lot of traffic, because I don't have time to do much marketing. I'll be quite honest with you. I mean, what I do, what I've got running, and there's a lot of automatic stuff and things that are producing money on a residual basis that mean that I don't really have to do anything. So I spend my time looking at ways that I can perhaps build systems to help others. And I've got a big launch coming up on Saturday for something that I'm very excited about. I'll put the link in for that. I can find a link for that, he said. Not knowing where it is. It's in my Success Lifestyles blog somewhere. Here we go. I think, no, it's not that one. It's the one before it, I think. No, the one before that. Yeah, this one, I think. Yeah, here we go. I'll put this link in because I've got a big launch coming on Saturday. And I'm sure it's going to make a lot of people an awful lot of money. How do I get back where I am? There we go. I'll put it in as a sticky. Sticky, there we go. Paste. Display as a sticky message. Okay, that should be there. It's actually a blog post, but that blog post will tell you not much about it, but a little bit, but it'll take you to the registration link, which I can't remember and don't know what it is offhand. So, don't know why that's down there now. Oh, I don't know. Hope this isn't coming up on your screen. I've just got things popping up on my screen. Where? Okay. What is the one best source or way to build a list when one is a newbie? You want to be building two lists. You want to be building one that is just people that are opting into something that you're giving away. You've got to give something away, but you want to be, you've got to sell something as well. We've all got to eat, right? But people are reluctant to buy things from people that they don't know. But if there's something free that you can give away, and if you're in soap, there's lots of stuff. You get a product every month, and you can give those away, or you can sell them. And I recommend you give them away. Just give it away, whatever it is. Usually courses or ebooks or a video series or something like that. And you can do them by sell them by solo ads. You've got to find a solo ads provider that you're happy working with. It's all, there's no easy solution. I can't say, go here, buy that traffic and send them to this landing page and you'll make money. If anybody could do that, everybody would be wealthy. They'd be making a fortune online. And clearly that's not the case. There are so many variables in it. And even if you use the same traffic as me to the same landing page, it doesn't mean you're going to get the same result as me. If you are in doubt or lack sincerity about any aspect of what you're doing, people will smell it a mile off. And I'm always ultra confident in what I am offering, whether it's free or whether it's for $10,000, because if I don't believe it's worth it, and if I wouldn't buy it myself, and having bought it, think that it's good value for money, I wouldn't sell it. And that comes over, and it comes over even somehow in the ads that you're running, even in the emails that you send out. You don't have to be in front of people for them to sense that the energy is there. And so there isn't an easy answer to it, Larry. You've got to build your own system. I mean, what I'll be doing in the launch on Saturday, I'm putting together something that I believe is going to make it as easy as it possibly can be for anybody, particularly when they're starting out to make money. But a lot of people think they can make money online without putting any money in. And I've never met anybody that's made any significant money without investing money themselves. And if you're trying to sell something and you're not committed enough to actually buy it yourself, then why would anybody want to buy it off you? You know, I know there are differences in that. I mean, you could say that a shopkeeper selling Mars bars doesn't have to like Mars bars to sell them, and that's true. But Mars bars have a big reputation, a big brand, and you haven't got that brand. Not when you're starting out. You've got to build your brand. You've got to build that brand. And once you build your brand, people will buy things off you because they recognize your brand name. For example, I nearly always buy Bic pens, but I went into the store the other day and they didn't have any Bic pens. So I was looking through, and I don't care what I pay for a pen. I don't buy Bic because they're the cheapest. I buy Bic because I found they're the best. But I saw some pens there and they were Papermate. And I thought, Papermate, that's a good make. I'll take that. And they weren't very expensive anyway. I can't remember what they were. So I bought this packet of 10 Papermate. And, you know, they are rubbish and I would never buy Papermate pens again. But they had a brand name that sold it for me the same way that Mars bars have a brand name. But unless you're selling something that is branded, which is usually going to be for small commission, like, for example, you might be selling Sony televisions, people will buy those because they recognize the brand. It's not because they know you. They recognize the brand. So if you're offering a deal, they might be a little bit wary anyway, but if they're paying through PayPal and they've got this buyer guarantee or something like that, then that eases it as well. So they recognize it's Sony, they recognize it's PayPal, and if they're not happy, they can get the money back. So they'll buy it from you. So it's a complex situation. And there isn't a simple answer to it. And that's why I run the 30-minute mentor courses. And everybody, I get so often people asking me, what is the best way to make money? And they don't really want the best way because I can tell them the best way, but they're not prepared to do it. What they want is a way that they don't have to do any work and don't have to put any money in, and they're going to get a pile of money out and it's going to be paid instantly and not in 45 days time. And it doesn't exist. It's not there. So there isn't a best way. The best way is the way that you learn, you spend time on, you become proficient at, and you get it to work for you. And I'm sorry that's not the answer you wanted, but it's the truth. Okay, so there you go, Larry. I suggest you get on that webinar on Saturday because I'm going to be revealing some stuff on there which is going to change that quite a lot, what I've just been talking about. Because what I've put together, and it's coincided with something else that's come together at the same time. It's amazing, really. And they fit together. What was that expression from Bubba Gump? Like peas and carrots, I think he always said. They go together like peas and carrots. So what's it called? Bubba Gump? I think it was, wasn't it? The film. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that's it from me. Have we got any questions? I mean, I can answer specific questions on marketing. I can't give you an easy solution because there isn't one. If there was, as I say, everybody would be rich. You've got to be prepared to struggle. And you're going to struggle with anything, even if I'm leading you through it step by step by step by step. You go and get a new job and it's something you've never done before, and you're going to struggle and you're going to find it difficult, even though there are people there that have been paid to show you how to do it. And every time you get stuck, you can go to them and ask them. And every time you get stuck, you can go to them and ask them. And eventually you become proficient, and you perhaps would be able to teach somebody else. And that's what it's about. You've got to go through that period of struggle until you've learned it well enough to be able to teach it to somebody else. And then you start teaching it to somebody else, and you'll be amazed at how much you don't know. And you'll learn an awful lot more once you start teaching it. And everybody that makes big money online teaches. They're all teachers. They're all teaching you what to do. Some of them are called gurus. I don't know where that came from. I don't personally like the term guru, because I relate that to people that are enlightened spiritually, people that have spent a lifetime being in tune with cosmic energy or God or whatever. How does your SOAP autoresponder compare with Aweber? Very well in some respects and very poorly in others. Deliverability is as good as you will get with Aweber when you are starting out. If you build up a very Aweber, and all the big autoresponders do, they have different servers, and anybody that's got a new account with Aweber is on the lower ranked server, if you like, and it won't get as delivered as well as the people that are on the high ranked server. And you've got to build a reputation with Aweber, and they don't tell you this, it's just that it happens. And that is relevant to the number of hard bounces that there are, and whether you're getting complaints and undeliverables and all this sort of thing. And they will gradually upgrade you on your servers. But we get as good a deliverability as Aweber. We don't offer some of the things that Aweber do, like the templates for landing pages, but most people don't use those much nowadays anyway, because there are so many template building things that are there, and funnel builders and all this sort of stuff, that really all you need is a form code, and we can provide a form code. Price wise, very favorably. If you've got, I mean, at one time I was paying £800 a month to Aweber, because I had massive lists, bigger than they are now, because I was also handling clients lists for businesses that I had offline. With SOAP, handling that sort of quantity would have cost me less than half of that. And getting started with SOAP autoresponder, you're looking at $7. Getting started with Aweber, I think probably about $20. There are differences. Every autoresponder is different. Some things I like with Aweber, some things I like with GetResponse, some things I like with, no, I don't really like anything with GVO. Some things I like with SOAP, some things I like with Traffic Wave. And then there are the sort of higher ones that come with CRMs, which cost you an awful lot of money, you know, like $2,000 to set up, and then a minimum of about 300 a month. So in deliverability, yeah, we are as good as Aweber. I tested my list in Aweber and my list in SOAP, and in fact I'm getting better open rates from SOAP than I'm getting from Aweber. Will you get the same? No idea. But I can only test what I have. So pretty much most autoresponders will deliver in a similar way. A lot of deliverability isn't connected to the autoresponder. It's connected to your subject line and your content and the address you're sending from. Those three things. So if you have a send address of john@john.com and it's had a few complaints, then it gets around and you're going to get blocked, and it's going to go into spam boxes or even get blocked before it even gets to the recipient. It'll get blocked at the email server And similarly, if you've got spammy content, it might not get through. And what they class as spammy content is anybody's guess. There are things on there which you can get which will test stuff, you know, and if it goes over 5, they reckon you shouldn't be sending it. But I've had high deliverability with things that have ranked 9 on their spam filters, and I've got really bad deliverability on things that have only been 1. So it's hard to judge. In SOAP, how many emails can be sent out in a day? It depends on which plan you're on. I don't think we have a limit on the number of mails you can send. I think the limit is on the subscribers, the number of subscribers. But you can send, I don't think there's a limit on the emails. If you've only got 10 people and you want to send 1,000 messages to them a day, I think you can do it. I'd have to check on that. So, but basically, it depends on the plan you're on. The same as it does with any autoresponder. The more you're using it, the more subscribers you have, the more traffic you're using, the more it costs whoever is running the autoresponder, so the more they charge you, because they're in business to make a profit. So, yeah, I know what Guru is, Mike. It's just that I don't recognize Guru as being a teacher of, and sometimes a pseudo teacher of internet marketing. And this is where people talk about gurus, or you know, these online gurus. And well, these are people more often than not that have no qualifications to teach you. They're not really leaders. They are just people that have sold more stuff than you have. And quite often there are people that are purporting to be gurus that may even have sold less than you have. And they just go around puffing their chests out and saying, oh, you know, you learn from me, do this, do that. And it's the blind leading the blind. They haven't got a bloody clue. And that's why so many people are failing. They're just following people that don't know what they're talking about. And as I say, I mean, I can teach you a lot of stuff about list building and communication with the list, but I can't teach you as much as Diane Hockman, because she's better at it than I am. So that's why I'm going to her to learn. That's why I'm buying her course, and that's why I'm going to be in touch with her, and that's why I'm going to be talking with her and getting all I can from her, because in an hour a day, she makes $10,000 a day. And it's not to be sneezed at with a list of 4,500. That's it from me. And so I'm going to leave it there. You've had more than your 30 minutes worth. Get on that webinar if you can on Saturday. It's this Saturday at 1 o'clock GMT, which is 8 AM Eastern Standard Time if you're in the States, which will be 4 AM California time if you're on the West Coast there. So it means you have to get up a bit early, not as early as I got up this morning to listen to Diane. Okay, thanks for being here. Love you all, and God bless.